What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another video on the channel. And a couple days ago I asked you guys on my Instagram to drop me some AFL would you rathers, and I got a fair amount of responses. So in today's video I'll be answering you guys AFL would you rathers. Now obviously I'm not the first person to do this. I think True Footy, Cooko, and I think even Isaac did this sort of video a while back. So credit to them, but this will be slightly different because not only are there, AFL play comparisons, but there are pretty much everything you can think of. We got some pretty good would you rathers that I'm going to be answering. Alright, well, we're going to start off with a few interesting questions. First up from Kobe Marshall. Now this one, it's a pretty good question to start. So would I rather a day or a night grand final? Now, it's been on the talks in the last 4 or 5 years a lot. Now obviously the 2020 grand final was a night grand final, so I think for most people this would be quite easy. You got to go the day. Day grand final's a lot better. It's tradition, it just feels right. The night grand final, it kind of sucked in 2020. It might have been because it was at the Gabba and that the crowd, it wasn't as much of a crowd or an atmosphere, but definitely day grand final. Ads Bennett, would I rather be as short as Caleb Daniel or as tall as Mason Cox? Well, I don't know. I'll probably have to say tall as Mason Cox. There's more of an advantage to be as tall as him. Now, Cox hasn't got the skills. If I had the skills of Daniel and the height of Cox, you'd almost be the best players in the comp. You just clunk all the marks. So yeah, I'd probably have to go tall as Cox since there's not a lot of advantages for being short. Shockstar YT asks, would I rather play for the Hawks three-peat or the Tigers dynasty currently? A tough one, honestly. A few of these are tough. I like the Tigers as a club more, so because of that, based seriously just purely on that, I'll probably have to go for the Tigers now. Plus, their dynasty hasn't stopped yet. They could still win 1 or 2 more flags, whilst the Hawks, yeah, they have stopped. A couple of people asked, would I rather Fox Footy or Channel 7 coverage? Now, yeah, this one's obviously another tough one because the good thing about Fox Footy, there are no ads, and they've got some pretty good analysis with Fox Footy there, the people. But Channel 7, I think the commentary is a little bit better. Like, the commentators that they have are, I would say, a lot more experienced and a lot more professional. Like, I would say they're better commentators. So based off commentary, Channel 7, but based off, like, coverage and analysis, I'd probably go for Fox Footy. If we're excluding the fact that Channel 7's free to air, I'll go Fox Footy. Xavier Browie has asked, would I rather a goal after the siren to win a game or a tackle after the siren to win a game? Now, I think this is a pretty easy one for me at least. I'd definitely rather a goal after the siren to win a game because it's always every kid's dream to kick a goal after the siren. Not many people, in fact, not many kids would really be going in the playground tackling, but yeah, definitely I think a goal after siren would be more rewarding. Zayden Burnell, would I rather play for a popular team who don't win any flags or a team that I hate and win lots of flags? I think this is another easy question. Even though if you're playing AFL, regardless of whether it's a team you hate or not, you're still going to try your all and you're going to like that club. So definitely a team that I hate and lots of flags. So I couldn't care less if I was playing for a popular team. If I don't win any flags, then that's not good enough. And the reason you play footy is to win flags. So definitely a team I hate. Clays Kelly, this was a bit of a tough one. A Brownlow or a Norm Smith? Now, I haven't really thought of this at all. So if you're going to win the Norm Smith, you're probably going to win the premiership. So I would probably say the Brownlow. The Brownlow, it's more of an honour to win the Brownlow than the Norm Smith because the Norm is just one game. I know it's the granny, but the Brownlow is the whole season. Blaze17YT, similar to the first one, but this is a day or a night game. I'd probably almost go night game. There's usually more of an atmosphere and crowd at a night game than a day game, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. Like, let's say Sunday afternoon game, for example, Melbourne versus Fremantle, 14,000 people would probably attend. Whilst Anzac Day, Melbourne versus Richmond, 85,000 people at the game. So definitely night have more of an atmosphere. Xavier's has asked, would I rather play for Freo or West Coast? Now, I would probably rather play for West Coast, to be honest with you. West Coast are a bigger club, more popular club, and they've got a greater chance of winning a flag, I'd have to say. Xavier DH has asked, would I rather win a game by 1 point or 100 points? It's always great, getting the thrilling win, but especially if I don't want to die getting a heart attack at age 33, I'd probably rather win by 100 points because then you can just feel safe the whole game. You can relax, you don't have to worry about, the chance of you losing. And it's fun seeing your team dominate and kicking so many goals and smashing the opposition. So win by 100. Thor Program has asked, would I rather play one outstanding game or 50 awful games of footy? Now, if I played 50 awful games, I don't know how I'm still in the team, but let's just say I was guaranteed a spot even if I played shocking. I'd still probably rather one outstanding game because it's a lot more satisfying you know, when you play a good game. And I remember junior footy, I used to play shit games. We used to win, but I never usually felt great if I had a horrible game. My sister has asked, would I rather be a coach or a commentator? Now, good question. A little bit tough, but I'd probably go commentator because I'm not the sort of person who is great at like directing people to do things. Whilst commentator, it sounds a lot more interesting and more fun and enjoyable. Plus, I sort of do a little bit of that whilst doing my live reaction. So I reckon I'd be a lot better as a commentator than a coach. A bunch of people asked me, would I rather BT or Bruce? Now, if you asked me this a couple years ago, I'd probably go BT because he, you know, it makes the game a little bit more enjoyable. But I'd probably go Bruce because he takes it a little bit more professionally, and I think he's a better commentator overall. And this is a very tough one. Jordan McCleary's put me on the spot here. Cato McDonald or True Footy? What about neither? What about Druzy? It's too tough to pick, so I'm just going to go for another AFL YouTuber that's in the scenes and go Druzy. So thank you for putting me on the spot there, Jordan McCleary. So now we've got a few player would you rathers. First up, Keenan has asked me, would I rather Steele or Rao? Right now, I'd rather Steele, but I reckon Rao will become a better player. But I'm going to go Steele. And Nick Long has asked Steele or Petrarca. Again, Saints bias, but I'm going to go Steele. And Jordan2324 has asked Cripps forward or De Goey mid. Good question. I'll probably have to go De Goey mid because Cripps is so inaccurate in the forward line. Like, seriously, he's not going to do much for them. Alright, he's a great player, but in the forward line, he's not that great. Now, I've got a few more other would you rathers for the play comparison. To make sure this video isn't as long, I'm going to set a 1 minute timer and see how many questions I can answer in a minute. Alright, Zach Merritt or Seb Ross? Oh, I'd have to go, or I'd almost have to say Merritt, I would have to say. Hunter Clark or Ben King? I think Clark. Ben played for the Suns. That's honestly why I'm saying Clark, but Clark's going to be a gun. Cripps or Fife? Oh, I'd probably just go Fife. He's one of the two Brownlows. Fife or Dusty? Dusty is probably more of an X-Factor player, and he's a more damaging player, especially big-time games, so I'll go Dusty. Pennells or Dusty? I'd also probably have to say Dusty, but Pennells is an absolute star. Grundy or Nick Nat? Oh, I'd probably at this rate almost Nick Nat. I'll go Nick Nat. Merritt or Billings? Oh, this is a tough one. I'll go Billings. I'll go Billings as well. Merritt's a star though. Jai Simpkin or Hunter Clark? Gotta go Hunter Clark. T. Mitchell or Pendlebury? Tom Mitchell's a star. He won a Brownlow, but Pendlebury's just more of a all-round player. Dusty or Lynch? Probably Dusty. That's the timer, the 1 minute. See, the timer for 1 minute is gone, but let me quickly finish these two questions. So Felix has asked, would I rather Chris Judd or Ben Cousins? Now, he's specifically mentioned on the field, and that's very helpful because if it was off the field, I don't know if many people would be going Cousins, but I'd probably still go Judd. Ricky is your man's, aka Fritter AFL. The footy IQ of Pendles or the skill of Martin? I'm gonna go footy IQ of Pendles. Alright, so we've stopped with the AFL player would you rathers, and we're moving into a few more juicy questions that I reckon are a little bit more interesting. So Aussie Thinks has asked, would I rather play on Barry Hall or Dipper? Well, Barry Hall, infamously punching Brent Staker, I think that says it all. Gotta go Dipper. Alex Colvery, would I rather take a punch from Andrew Gaff or a bump from Stephen May? Now, obviously, these are referring to the incidents that, occurred from both of the players. And I'd have to go bump from May because the damage was a lot less severe. I think Martin, who took the bump from May, he might have even played the following week, whilst obviously we know Brayshaw with his broken jaw. Now we're starting to get into a few questions where you guys have sort of teased me by mentioning St Kilda in these questions. So first up, we got AFL Tube. Would I rather $100,000 in cash or St Kilda winning the flag in 2021? Now, geez, this is a tough one. Obviously, I'd love the Saints to win a flag, but $100,000, how handy would that be? We're probably going to win a flag at one other stage, and this is for this year only, so that's why I'm going to pick the 100K. Jamil's Mudsecker, would I rather a new insane Evo game that's basically as good as FIFA or a 2021 Saints Grand Final? Now, probably have to go for the 2021 Saints Grand Final. As good as a new AFL Evo game is and gets the AFL community involved, I'd rather my team win a flag. Alex Ness 2003, would I rather watch 5 Saints Grand Final losses in the next few years or watch the Saints win a flag at 50? Now, with the first 5 Grand Final losses, he didn't state whether or not we might win another one soon after, and I don't want to wait till 50 to win a flag. So I'm probably going to have to go watch the 5 Saints grand final losses. They're going to hurt, but at least we're a decent side. Now this one's a tough one. Mooma or Kadom. Saints to lose the next 10 grand finals in a row, or the Saints to win a flag the year after I die. Now, pretty much with this question, I'm not going to be able to witness a single Saints flag. So it's sort of a lose-lose. Would I rather watch 10 years of misery where my team loses a flag, or not see my team in a granny, but not see my team with a flag? As I said before, the other one, I'd rather see my team do good than horrible. So I would almost take this 10 losses in a row. Matt Rowell to play for the Saints for the next 10 years, or Dusty for the next 3 years. Now Dusty will make more of an immediate impact, but Matt Rowell at your team for 10 years, you can't go past that. Now the last sort of proper would you rather that I received was from Code Word, and he asked, would I rather watch the 2010 replay, the grand final replay, or have my skull bashed in? I think that's a pretty easy one. Obviously, have my skull bashed in. I could not bear to watch another second of that horrible grand final. In fact, I might even do it right now. There you go. Now, to finish off the video, we've got a few piss take would you rather that I might as well answer just for the fun of it. So, Geordie Pluto, would I rather Mr. Team Coach or Nathan Heber to play for my team in the AFL? I think this one's an easy one. You gotta have to go Nathan Heber. He kicked 69 goals. What's Mr. Team Coach to do on the field? If there's anything to compare, Mr. Team Coach will be eating 69 Easter eggs. Sammy Gebbett 04. Sammy Gebbett 04 has asked yellow video makers or St Kilda. Tough one, but you just gotta go the yellow. You gotta go the yellow video makers. You know, just screw the team you support. You gotta go for the YouTubers team. Caden Allen Sport. This one is tough. Barrack for the Tigers for a year, or get non-stop Elijah Wilson Skype calls for the next year, and I'm not able to block him. Now, I'd hate to bag for the Tigers in 2021. Although, yeah, non-stop Skype calls from Elijah doesn't sound good either. But he did mention I can't block him, but he didn't mention that I can just sign out of the account. I sort of got into a bit of a loophole. I could just sign out of the Skype account and not have to hear the annoying Skype calls from Elijah. Mitch Ryan 7, live with Sammy GFC for 3 years and Saints win a flag, or never win a flag at all. Maybe I can just lock Sammy downstairs in a basement or something, you know, because look, as bad as probably living with Sammy for 3 years is going to be, I don't think it's worth missing out on the Saints flag. And Real UCat YT, yeah, I've only thrown this in because I know he wants me to have it. I'll let you guys watching this video to answer this question in the comments below. So answer that one in the comments below. So yeah, that's it. That's the majority of the questions that got asked. I did, you know, get more, but I can't really answer all of them. Otherwise, this video is going to go on forever. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more of these questions where I get to interact with you guys by asking you questions on Instagram. I think they're pretty fun to do. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon in my next video.